Hi guys, you can see the topic which is available here. That is the industry-oriented Java complete course. What is this thing? Today onwards, I will be starting a very special series that is related to industry-oriented Java course. That means we are going to discuss everything which are asking in the industry and everything which you need to uh, develop a full stack development. Okay, so I will explain all the things step by step. Okay, today we will be learning some things in the industry. So this part I will be naming as the uh, languages, languages, technologies, technologies, and the framework, frameworks. With this thing, I will explain you what are the technologies, trending technologies in the industry, in the industry nowadays. Right. Okay, first of all, we will consider about the languages. Okay, what do you mean by these languages? Okay, how do we classify the languages? When we consider about the languages, we can classify them into four parts, mainly four parts. One thing is the programming languages. Okay, and the second thing is the query languages, query query languages. And the third thing is the markup languages. Markup languages. And the fourth thing is the scripting languages. Okay, what do you mean by this programming languages? Okay, the programming languages means what are normally which has the understanding of the programming languages. What do you mean by the programming languages? Why we are using these programming languages? Okay. Before to move to this one, my question is, what are the things normally considered as programming languages? What are the examples for the programming languages? C, it is a programming language. C++, it is also programming languages. Java, it is also programming languages. Python, it is also programming language. C Sharp, it is also programming languages. Ruby, that is also considered as a programming language. Okay, okay, and these things are enough. Okay, now my question. Okay, uh, why we are using this programming language? It is to build. It is to build the build the logic. Normally, these programming languages are used to build the logic. What do you mean by logic? As an example, if we take a small example, uh, add two numbers, okay, or find the largest, find the largest of few numbers, okay, arrange the numbers in the reverse order. Okay, this type of scenarios we are using this programming languages. Okay, if you consider about the projects, okay, now these things are normally considered as small programs. Okay, the combination of those small programs we can consider as a project. Okay, when we develop a project, okay, suppose we'll take a functionality, a login functionality. Okay, uh, in this login functionality, uh, by entering the username, okay, username and the password what you are doing, you are connecting with the with the database. It is connecting with the database means it is the logic in a project. Okay, what we are doing, you are entering the username and the password, and after that what we are doing, you are building the logic, you are connecting it with the database. Okay, what is this thing? Okay, this part we call it as the backend part. Okay, backend part. So these programming languages are used to build the logic of the logic of the backend. Okay. Okay, when we consider about the what we call the project, there are mainly two things are available. One thing is the front end part. Other thing is the back end part. These programming languages are used to build the logic of the back end. Okay, that is the main use of the programming language. There is another use of the programming language. Okay, I'll make it as simple A, and here I will make it as simple B. Okay, other than the building logic of the backend, what are the other uses of the programming language? These programming languages can be used to develop the desktop application. Develop desktop applications. Okay, develop desktop applications. Okay, what do you mean by the desktop applications? Okay, desktop applications means you are embedding or you are installing the application in a hardware. If any applications in your washing machine, that is also a desktop application. If any applications in your car, it is also a desktop application. Not only you are installing in your PC, anything which you are installing in a hardware, we can consider as a desktop application. Anything, any application, any application installed in a hardware can be considered as desktop application. Okay, so then in an aeroplane, desktop applications can be used. Car desktop applications can be used. Washing machines, like that, the devices you can use what we call desktop applications, and also what we call satellites. Desktop applications can be used to develop desktop applications. We can use what we call programming languages. Okay, what do you mean by the query languages? First, we'll see the examples of the query languages. SQL, it is a query language. PLSQL, SQL, it is also query language. Okay, Oracle, it is a query language. Now, don't misunderstand this Oracle query languages and the Oracle database. Those are two things. Okay, I'll give one example. You have heard about the MySQL. Okay, you have heard about MongoDB. Okay, you have heard about SQL Server. Those are not query languages. Those are what we call the databases. Those are softwares. Okay, but SQL is a query language. PLSQL is a query language. Oracle, it has query language also there, and there is a database software also available in the name of the Oracle. Okay, but MySQL is a database software. SQL Server is a database software. Okay, Oracle also there is a database software. MongoDB, it is also database software. Okay, I think you have got the idea. Okay, okay, this query languages. Why we are using this query language? That is to database manipulation. Database manipulation. What do you mean by the database manipulation? That means the CRUD functions, CRUD operations. What do you mean by the CRUD? Create, okay, R for read or retrieve, okay, and U for update, D for delete, T for delete. Okay, to manipulate these things, okay, we can use query languages. So insert data and what we call that is called the creating the data and read the data, update the data, and the delete data. We are calling those things as a manipulations. Okay, we have set up what we call commands for those things. Okay, for these database manipulations, we can use query languages. Okay, then what we call the markup languages. Okay, markup languages examples will say HTML. Okay, X X HTML. Okay, then D HTML. Okay, uh, and XML. Okay, those things we can consider as what we call markup languages. Why we are using these markup languages? You know, you are very much familiar with this one, HTML, and also you are very much familiar with this XML. Okay, why we are using HTML? What is the use of the HTML? HTML and these all of these markup languages are used to develop the front end part. I have already told that in a project there are two things available. One thing is the front end part and the other thing is the back end part. I told that to develop the back end logic we can use the programming languages, and these markup languages are used to uh, develop the interface. Means the place which the user is interacting. Okay, to develop the front end, or you can say develop the interface. Interface is the place where the user is interacting. Okay, so normally these this HTML, XHTML, DHTML, these things are used for the website front end. Website, okay, the web applications front end. You can use these things. This XML can be used to develop the what we call mobile application part and also the what we call desktop application part. Okay, uh, normally XML is used for the mobile application development. As an example, for the Android development you can use Android front end, you can use this XML, and these three things you can use for the web application development, right? Okay, then we'll move to the scripting languages. Yes, scripting languages, there are two parts of this scripting languages. One thing is the client-side scripting. Client-side scripting, and the second thing is the server-side scripting. Server-side scripting. We'll see why we are using this client-side scripting. Okay, well, what do you mean by client? Client means the user. Client is the user. Client is the user. Okay. Client-side scripting means you are uh, doing the client-side validations. The use of that one is the client-side validation. Doing the client-side validation. Okay, we'll see what is this validation. What do you mean by the validation? As an example, uh, for a client, these things, client-side scripting is for client. Okay, for a normal client. Okay, and now the client is interacting with the interface, and he has to fill a form. Okay, to log into the system. Okay, when he is filling the forms, okay, uh, 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 it has to be verified. Okay, okay, that is called as the validations. Okay, when he is entering the username and when he is entering the password, it has to be validated whether it is correct or wrong. Okay, whether it is already entered or not. Okay, for those things we can consider them as validations, client side validations. Okay, okay, right, those things called that client side validation. When the username is entered, whether the pattern of the username or the pattern of the email is wrong. Okay, whether the data is already existed or not. Okay, those things we can consider as the client side scripting. Those things called as the client side validations. To do the client-side validations, we can use the client-side scripting languages. What are the client-side scripting languages? JavaScript is one of the client-side scripting languages. JavaScript has many forms. Okay, one thing is the jQuery form, and Ajax form. What do you mean by the Ajax? Ajax means asynchronous JavaScript uh, and XML, asynchronous JavaScript and XML. Okay, we'll see the uses of these things later. And also, we can use for the as the client-side scripting, we can use the Visual Basic. That means the VB script also we can use VB script. Okay, these are the main client-side scripting languages. Okay, what do you mean by the server? Server is used to uh, connect to many machines. Okay, server is to communicate multiple machines that means uh, uh, client and server communication. Okay, normally these things are happening in the web applications, okay, through the internet, okay. That means multiple communication, multiple clients and multiple machines are connected. For that, we can use the client-side scripting. To do the client-side scripting, we can use the languages like the PHP. We can use PHP, and in Java we have to use advanced Java. What do you mean by the advanced Java? uh, JSP and the servlets, those are the advanced Java concepts. And also advanced Python. Okay, these things can be used as the server side scripting. Okay, right. Okay, we have understood about the main four types of languages and the uses of those things. And now one thing, okay, I have explained about the markup languages there. This HTML is the well-known markup language. And with this markup language, okay, there is another thing is coming to our mind. That is the CSS. So what do you mean by CSS? Is it the markup language? No, it is not the markup language. Okay. What is then CSS? Those things are comes under the technologies. Okay, technologies. Okay. Then what we call the technologies. So the technologies are used to make our development easy. Okay. Now, if we use just the core programming language or just the core language, it will be difficult and it will be time consuming to use the. And also, when we are using what we call the technology, we can add more features. Okay. Okay, there are several things when we are considering about the technology. One thing is you can add more features to the project by using technologies. As an example, while using the CSS technology, we can create the interactive interface using CSS. Okay, and also the technologies what we call what we call advanced Java technologies like the JSP servlets. Okay, we know that the servlets are coming under what we call server-side scripting, as well as it can be considered as a technology as well. Okay, and some of the libraries, as an example, React, those things also can be considered as a technology. Okay, right. Now we'll see the CSS. Why we are using the CSS? It is as a technology uh, to build an interactive what we call attractive interface. Okay, then in JavaScript there are several technologies available. I have already told those things. jQuery, okay, jQuery. To use this jQuery, where you have seen now in just taken an example, e-commerce applications. There are some sidebars are going here and there. When you are building a website, you have to build those sidebars. Okay, sidebars. Okay, moving sidebars. Okay, sidebars we can develop by using the what we call the jQuery technologies. Okay, also we can make animations. Okay, animations using jQuery. And what is the other one? This Ajax, asynchronous JavaScript and XML. Okay, this thing why we are using this Ajax. Now, suppose now using the programming languages, you are entering data to the database. When you are refreshing, okay, at the moment when you are entering the data, it gives the message called that data is already existent. At the moment, that means the refreshing part that can be done using this Ajax. Okay, Ajax. Okay, what we call in a project in a login page when entering the data to visualize the data is already existed. We can use for those things we can use the Ajax. Okay, we'll be discussing this jQuery and Ajax deeply in our coming sessions. Okay, this is just to get a rough idea. Okay, right. Then I want to explain you about this frameworks. Okay, frameworks. Now you have know some framework in the front-end framework. There is a framework called Bootstrap. Okay, and you have learned several. You have heard about several backend frameworks. Okay, okay. This is for the front end. Okay, front end. This is a CSS based what we call framework, and largely used framework that is called the Bootstrap front end. For the backend parts, okay, for the backend parts, now you know that for the backends we are using programming languages. We can use frameworks to build our project in a less time, and also without typing everything from the scratch. We can use ready-made sources in a framework. Okay, in a framework we can consider as a framework is a roughly we can consider as a collection of libraries. Collections of libraries and documentation, configuration files, all those things we can consider as a framework. Okay. In PHP, there is a very well-known framework that is called the Laravel framework, Laravel, and also the Cake PHP, and also Code Igniter. Those are the PHP frameworks, and also we can take the Java frameworks. Java Spring framework is there. Hibernate is available. Hibernate, JS, okay. And also there is a framework called Struts, but it is no longer using because it is all outdated now. So I don't put it here. Java Spring, Hibernate, and the JS. If you consider the Python, the most commonly for the large applications, we can use the Django framework, Django, and also the Flask. And there are several machine learning frameworks are available. Okay, so since we are discussing about the website development, I am not going to discuss about those machine learning things. Right. Then we have to understand the now one problem why programming languages technology and framework. What's the difference between these things? Can't we develop a project by only using the programming languages? Can, but the problem is it will be time consuming. Okay, so you can build a Java project by wasting your time for many days, many months, and you can build the project, okay, by using only the core programming languages, okay. But when you are using the technology, you can make it easy, very much easy, and you can do the things easily. Normally, what we call to develop a desktop application in a simple desktop applications, you can use a programming language, okay. But to develop a medium size project, okay, somewhat users are interacting, you can use the technologies for that one. Okay, when you go for the industry, you have to use the frameworks, okay. The entire industry is running with the frameworks, okay. You have to understand the core programming languages in depth to build the logic, but everything is depend on the frameworks in the industry, okay. You have to learn the frameworks, and also you have to learn the technology, and also to build the logic and the things, you have to have the core concepts, so you have to have the core programming languages as well, right. Then now you know that PHP is there, Java is there, the Python is there. What is the trending languages and the trending technologies? What are the trending technologies available? Before that, I have to explain one thing. Now this PHP is used for the small applications, okay. Small applications, like if it is a one organization, okay, like an example, if your university, it is a you can consider it as a comparatively small organization, okay. If you want to build a learning management system for the university, you can use PHPs. And if we consider about the medium size applications, okay, like e-commerce applications in a local wise, for that one we can use the C sharp, okay. C sharp, we can use for medium size, medium medium size application. And also Java, it is used for the large scale application. That's why we are discussing the Java is here. Still, now some are arguing that Java is outdated. No, Java is not outdated. Still, there is no languages to overtake the Java in the security wise. You can't overtake Java in. Still, there is no languages established to overtake it. So when we consider the large scale applications, also very much security wise applications, Java is the language we have to use here. Right. Then what is this Python? Python, normally we can consider it as what we call the languages which is used for the machine learning purposes, and also the scripting purposes. Okay, we do not consider Python as a languages to develop the web applications, right. Then when we consider about the trending technologies, okay, we know that we have to use the most trending technologies are, we have to use Java, and also we have to use the Python, because now many things are coming with the business intelligence, and also many things are coming with the machine learning algorithms, okay. To what we call the mix these two things, we have to use the Java and we have to use the Python, okay. Those are the most trending programming languages, okay. With these programming languages, what are the trending technologies, okay. These trending technologies I can explain you in three ways. One thing is the mean stack development. Mean stack development. What do you mean by the mean stack development? M for MongoDB, and E for Express JS, and A for Angular JS, and N for Node.js. Okay. Okay. If you know these four technologies, then you can consider as a main stack development, and it is one of the trending technologies and one of the trending technologies which are asking in the industry wise. And the second thing is the MERN stack development. MERN stack development. MERN stack development. Okay, like the previous way, M is for the MongoDB, MongoDB, and E4 again Express.js, and now here R is for the React.js. Okay, that is another front-end library. Okay, now AngularJS we can consider as a JavaScript framework, which is using for the front-end purposes, and this React is also now normally people are considering it as also a framework, but React is not a framework. React is a library, which is developed by the Facebook. It is a big library which can be used to develop the front-end interactive. Okay, we can use the AngularJS or the React.js. Okay, so if a person is competent in React, he can consider as a what we call MERN stack development. Okay, MERN stack development React.js. Okay, React.js for the mobile application development, and N Node.js. Okay, if a person is competent with this MongoDB, Express.js, React.js, and Node.js, can be considered as a MERN stack developer. And the third thing is the full stack developer. Full stack developer means which has the capabilities of MongoDB, Express.js, AngularJS, Node.js, and also the React.js. All of those 5 things, if you are competent enough, then you can consider as a MERN stack, what we call the full stack developer. Okay, that is the those are the things what I'm going to cover up by this things. Okay, and from the next session onwards, we will be discussing one by one. Okay, our learning path is we are completely depend on the Java. Okay, we will be learning everything in the Java deeply, step by step. After that, we are going to develop few desktop applications, as well as we are going to develop what we call web applications as well. To develop the web applications, we want to use the knowledge of the advanced Java features and also the JDBC. Okay, right. Okay, we'll see in the coming videos. I will be explaining what are the things going on. Okay, for the next video onwards, we will be starting our complete Java path. Okay, still till that. Thank you very much. Bye.